Hello and welcome to this new blog post where I want to talk a bit about Power Platform adoption and where I want to bring an additional aspect or consideration into the discussion. So, question, what is the question? Well, imagine you followed some kind of investment calculations that I showed you in my previous post, and you came up with the result that you get a positive payback period or return on investment or positive discounted cash flow, whatever you have, yeah? And you make the decision, okay, let's buy Power Platform licenses. Then the question is, how do you make sure that the licenses that you buy and the investment that you make, that this is fruitful, that you get something out of that? And of course, I mean, there are things that you can do. For example, there is a Microsoft Power Platform Adoption Best Practice Learn website. You can get insights into what you should do. There's also white paper, and many Microsoft partners have similar recommendations what to do. I made a screenshot here from one of these sites where you say, okay, how do you get started? How do you set up the project team? How do you get sponsorship from your managers? And so on. So you follow all of these paths to be successful. But then still, might be the case that the people that should use the platform, the citizen developers, well, they are not IT people. They are people from somewhere else. They work in HR, purchasing, and they have their day jobs and maybe different priorities from what you have in mind. And then the question is, hey, is there something missing? Is there something else we can do to make sure that we get a proper adoption and usage of our investment? And what I want to bring here into the discussion is basically an cost accounting or finance consideration. So let's assume the following. Let's assume you purchased licenses from Microsoft or a partner or from wherever, and that's done by your IT. The IT spend, let's say, $50,000. Now, first thing that you can do is you assign this to different people in HR, purchasing, sales, whatever departments you have. And for that, you can allocate part of the costs to these people in the different departments, which is good for the IT because part of their costs is covered by other departments. And here's an example where I say, okay, on the number, depending on the number of employees that have a license, you make this allocation. So from the 30,000, 6,000 goes to HR, 5,000 to purchasing, and the rest to sales. And that's the charge that the department managers will get, which is good because this puts a kind of pressure on them that they should use what they pay for. So at the end of the month, when you have your monthly financial talks with your financial controllers or finance managers, HR, purchasing, sales, they will have to justify, hey, what is with this cost? What did you do with that? So it's a kind of soft pressure that you execute. And then the other thing is, IT has still 20,000 to cover. And then I have here an element called variable charge. What is that? Well, I say, okay, if the different departments ask you for help, for some support, for running some proof of concept, where you can use tools in your area, then the different departments get charged for that. So here in my example, for 50 hours in HR, 70 hours in purchasing, and the rest in sales. And let's assume a market or cost price of $50, which results in these financial numbers that are then shifted from IT to the different departments. Why is that good? Well, because also the IT gets a bit pressure to make sure they cover all of their costs. So in my example, 7,500 is remaining. So at the end of the month, the financial controller might come and say, hey, what happened? Why didn't you help more? Why didn't you provide more support to the departments for implementing these IT tools? So it's basically a kind of dual pressure that you can execute by just implementing kind of standard cost accounting and activity-based costing tools to make sure that Power Platform or low-code platforms are used in your enterprise. Okay, so that's what I basically wanted to share with you. So as a result, a combination of the best practices that I shared, plus this financial cost accounting, activity-based costing system can have, from my perspective, a good impact on the adoption of your low-code platform. And of course, I want to have your perspective on that. Yeah? What are your views on this additional consideration? Just send me an email if you like, or put it in the comment section. That's all for today, so thanks a lot for watching and listening, and then till next time.